Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Monday live brain hack number 12 on solution-based thinking. It will help you if you have a writing instrument for the brain hack today. So if you can grab a pen or paper, or you can put it on your phone or on your computer, you don't have to necessarily see me to be able to do this work. But today I want to walk through the process of going from stressed to success. So when we look at that theme that says solution-based thinking, and we look at the concept of you can't think of the problem, you need to think of the solution. This is a thing that a lot of people say, but the actual act of going from one to the other is a lot more complicated than we make it out to be. So this week for me has been an interesting week because I don't really trigger anymore. I get to really observe the way my brain is working. And earlier in the week, the end of last week, however you look at your weeks, but like Saturday particularly and Sunday, I was feeling some pressure about where I am financially and what I need to do to be able to invest in marketing and to continue to grow the website, because all of this costs money. And I've been bootstrapping this, as many of you know, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And several people are like, well, you need to think about it. Maybe you could do this or you could do that. And I know that is not the right approach. Nothing in my mind that already existed was going to be the solution to my problem. What I did instead is I said, well, I can't approach it that way. What I need to do is just let my mind be empty, and the answer will show up. And I had 3 different things occur on Sunday that completely shifted gears. One of them is I did start a GoFundMe. So if you check Facebook, and I'll probably put a link on I can put one in this video, but on my social media, if you're on Facebook, I'll be sharing it there, as well as Instagram. But GoFundMe is limited in the social media it's advertising on, but I'm using those right now, and so I'm really looking like, it's not that wasn't available and wasn't an idea I've had, but I received information on it on Sunday that shifted my perspective, and I didn't try and figure out what I was doing. And that's what I want to talk about today, is being able to resource new information instead of trying to figure things out. I want to talk about the difference and how we move again from that stress state of fight or flight to a success state of dopamine. So from stressed to success. And so I want to talk about, first of all, that state of consciousness where we feel there is no solution, where we think there's no answer, there's nothing I can do. We might feel trapped or reactive, or like things are impossible, like there's no solution, or like the only solution is the worst solution. The thing we need to remember is that all problems, every single problem we have, means we're in a triggered state of consciousness. If we weren't triggered, we wouldn't think it was a problem. We would think of things as, we would think of possibility rather than problems. And we wouldn't be in what might possibly go wrong. We'd be in solution already. So the fact that we're not already in solution, the fact that we feel like something is a problem, just tells us our amygdala is triggered. That's all. It's not inherent to who we are. We're not stuck in it. We don't need to stay there. And so that state of when you're worried about things, when you're having problems, is the state of having the amygdala triggered. Now, the next state is the problem solving state. So a lot of people talk about, I'm a problem solver, and analyze and like to think about things and overthink. A lot of us suffer things like insomnia and stuff because we overthink things and we're trying to sort the problem. Now, It's not our fault we do this. This is a function of the primal brain, is why they call it monkey mind, because this is a part of the brain that's the same as primates. And this is the part of the, so primates are the weakest of all predators. I've talked about this before. And so our thinking, our analytical mind, our problem-solving skills is what kept us safe and made us live this far. Humans are the only primate like us in the world. Like, there are a lot of other primates that are similar, but humans stand alone. I mean, we are this species that have wiped out or overcome every other species that's like humans, like Neanderthals and any other species that were similar to us. So we really are problem solvers. We've problem solved to get to this point. And so our brain does it inherently, and we tend to have faith in it inherently. So if you're an overthinker, if you're an analyzer, not your fault. It is another problem that you can easily overcome. So the way we understand it is the way to understand it is that it's cyclic. So when we're doing problem solving, we're only using resources that have already been things that have been figured out, that have already been analyzed and established. So we're not getting any new information in this state because of the part of the brain where we're getting new information isn't engaged in this way of taking in new information. We're not observing, right? We are thinking. The brain is usually doing one of two things. So I tend to believe the brain only does one of two things, and that it is either getting information or processing information. And thinking and analysis are processing information. So if we're doing that, we're not getting new information. We're not absorbing new information. So you're stuck in what you know when you're in this thinking brain, and you can't be an innovator from this place. You can't think outside of the box. You're not in a place where your brain is capable. So being able to think outside of the box is actually a brain function. It's not an ability by certain people that one person has and somebody else doesn't. Thinking outside of the box is the evidence that we're in certain function in the brain, just like having problems is evidence that we're in the function of the amygdala being triggered. It's the same as thinking. Overthinking is evidence that we're a primate trying to feel safe. You know, when we're overthinking, we're saying, if I could just figure this out, I could be safe. The same is true for innovative thought. It is a brain function, and so it's something you can stimulate. It's something you can grow. Anything that comes from this function place, we can train the brain to do. So the question is how we get there. And so today I'm going to give you a step-by-step process of how to get all the way from deep in a problem into a solution. It's the same thing I use. It's the same thing I use this week. GoFundMe isn't the only thing I'm doing. I am taking multiple approaches, and I just allowed I allowed myself to observe them in a way that's not typical. So one of the ways we can do this is go talk to people, but a lot of times when we're in this state, those solutions aren't our answer. So that's not wrong to do that, but there is, doing it in the right way is the most beneficial. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to think of a problem that you have currently in your life. And I want you to write down that problem. I want you to write, what is the problem? Why is it a problem? So just go ahead and start writing while I'm talking. I won't be able to have you pause the video because we're live, but what problem do you have and why is it a problem? And I suggest pick something big. Pick something that would create dramatic change in your life if you could overcome it, because those are the things that help us believe in ourselves. Our ability to overcome is by overcoming big obstacles. So I want you to write down the problem. Now I want you to look at what you've written down, and I want you to write a single word that encompasses that problem. So what word would you use? And you don't have to worry about picking the perfect word or being super creative. You're just doing it for an exercise. So if you're having a financial problem, you could just write money. Or if you're having a relationship problem, you could write the person's name. Or if you have general relationship problems, you could just write connection or something. Just pick a word. The word you pick is not critical. It's not going to be necessarily, the word you pick is not going to determine the success of the exercise. Okay, so just go ahead and pick any word. And so now I want you to answer the question, what's your best solution to this problem? Just from where you are right now, what you're thinking, the way your brain is working right in this moment. What do you think is a solution? Now, this can be a solution you don't want to do, or it could be one like, well, I don't know, it's not that great of a solution. I'm not worried about the perfect answer here. This is you just using your analytical mind to try and solve the problem. So when I say, what's your solution? And you start thinking of answers, that is usually engaging your analytical mind. And if you can't think of anything, it's okay to do that too. You just write down whatever you think, okay, I could do this, or maybe this could happen. What is your best solution from where your consciousness is in this moment? So go ahead and write that down. And you don't have to write a lot of detail, just write a few notes because we're going to keep going with the exercise. And now I want you to just take a deep breath. Just as much air as you can get into your lungs, and just let everything go. Don't worry about the problem. Don't worry about the solution you've come up with. Just close your eyes for a minute and connect with your body. Just be aware of your body. Be aware of where you sit, what you're doing. You don't need to do anything particular with your body. Just connect with it. And now I'd like you to take just 3 slow, deep breaths. So just inhaling and exhaling. Just taking your time on that exhale. Pay attention to each breath. So inhaling again. Not being in too big of a hurry. And exhaling. So one last time. We're going to inhale. And then we're going to exhale. Now I would like you to go back to the word you came up with for your problem. And I'd like you to trace it with your non-dominant hand. So just write over it again. You can, there's a lot of things you can do here. You can write bubbles around it, or draw swirly lines or flowers. Just go back to the word that you had, and using your non-dominant hand, embellish it, or just keep tracing over it. If you are a person that does not have a writing instrument with you, if you're using your phone or your computer, what I'd like you to do is type the word backward on your phone or computer. So if you look at the word, you're going to do this 3 times. And if I were to look at the word, if I were to say 3 times, actually, this is what I want you to do. If I were to look at the word 3, I would be typing E-E-R-H-T, right? So just go ahead and type the word backwards just a few times. I want you to do it at least 3. People that are drawing, just embellish your word. Again, non-dominant hand. Quiet, even breath. Now I have a question I'd like you to ask yourself. And this question is really important. The way I word it is very significant. So the question is, What is a possible solution to this problem that I'm not seeing? I'm going to repeat the question because, again, the whole question is important. What is a possible solution to this problem that I'm not seeing? And then what you're going to do is sit quietly with that. The answer may come right away, or it may take a minute. Just give it a minute to listen. And then, again, the question is what's important. And then making sure you just listen for an answer, not trying to guess, but just letting your mind become quiet after you ask the question. So the question is, what is a possible solution to this problem that I'm not seeing? I'd really like you to write that down or type it. This is a great question to keep with you for contemplative practices. So what is a possible solution to this problem that I'm not seeing? And I'm going to have you sit with this question after the brain hack's done. I just want to say, if you don't get anything, go back and retrace or retype the word. So go back to that word and the practice you were doing where you were either tracing or embellishing or retyping the word that's the problem word. And do it for like 2 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. Do it for 2 minutes. And then ask the question again. And if you still don't get an answer, if that doesn't work, do it for 5 or 10 minutes. Once the brain function is activated, the answer will come 100% of the time. You just have to activate the right brain function that causes the answer, right? Now, I'm not going to have time to let you sit in the question yet, but you're going to have a second part to this, so I want you to write this down as well. Now, for the most part, this is the most important part. For the most part, we often get realizations of what to do, but we don't act on them. So what I want you to do is have a second question prepared for yourself, which is, what one step can I take toward this solution? Now, this may be a big step or a little step, but you want to ask the question, what one step can I take towards this solution today? And even if your answer to the step is a big one, I want you to take a step today, but it doesn't need to be the whole big step. It can be a part of it. It can be making a list or organizing a plan. It can be just, okay, I'm going to make this one phone call. It doesn't need to be big, but you do need to follow it. So follow whatever answer comes, take that step, and then take every step after it. The more you follow your own innovative thinking, the more your brain will use it as a resource. This is really important. So that rather than firing the amygdala and causing panic, your brain inherently goes to solution-based thinking. This practice is actually a practice in training your brain in solution-based thinking. So use it as much as you want for as many problems as you want. Use it all the time. I use it constantly. I still use it even in my advanced work. It will work all the time. And it'll continue to work better and better and be easier and easier the more you practice it, because you're training the muscle in the brain, the same as, again, going to the gym and working out will make your body stronger. Doing this practice will make your brain stronger. So I'm over 20 minutes, so I'm going to say good luck. And remember to write those questions down. You have your practice of non-dominant handwork or spelling words backward. And then you will ask the question, what possible solution is available that I'm not seeing? And then you're going to ask the question, what one thing can I do today toward that solution? So that's the practice for this week. For those of you in the paid meetup group, you will see an extension to this brain hack on Wednesday. It's a really exciting one. I already have it all prepared. For those of you that are new to the practices, you can go to our website at theinspiredevolutionproject.com to find out more about what we do. I am going to recommend, there should be something popping up on your screen right now that says subscribe. If you subscribe, and click the bell notification on YouTube. It is free and it won't blow up your phone. It'll just tell you when I'm live or uploading a new video. And you should also see a couple of other videos appearing for other things available on our channel, the most recent uploads, as well as things that YouTube thinks you'll like in what we offer. So go ahead and click on any of those that apply, and however you decide to move forward in your practices, I do wish you tremendous success on your journey.